So in my last 2 uploads, I passed a $300,000 MyForex Funds challenge account in 1 trade each phase. Phase 1 and 2 both documented on the YouTube channel, so make sure you watch those videos. So moving on to this week, I've got a $300,000 funded account to trade. And in this video, I'm gonna break down how I made $10,000 this week, and that's my payout done. I'll also get my 112% refund and 80% of that $10,000, so $8,000. I don't know a single other YouTuber who's documented both a phase 1, phase 2 and payout of a $300,000 account, so I hope you enjoy. So if you haven't watched my last videos and you weren't aware of what MyForex Funds is, ultimately it's a prop firm that funds undercapitalized traders. The way that I've done it is done a $300,000 account, which is here, and it's meant that I've had to pass a phase 1 and phase 2 to acquire that $300,000 funded account. It cost me around $1,300, $400 to take, but you get that refunded once you get your first payout. I'm not affiliated with MyForex Funds, but they are a decent blue chip prop firm, so that's why I went with them. The prop firm that you go with is completely on preference, so do your research into prop firms and make sure they're reliable and have proof of payouts. So it's currently Wednesday, I took my trade yesterday on Tuesday, and I did a live analysis on Sunday talking through my points of interest on the chart. So what I'm gonna do now is show you my live analysis that I was doing to the Discord on Sunday at 7 PM. And you can see how it affected my decision on Tuesday as to what position I took. So getting into the analysis now for GBP USD, quick look onto the daily chart to see where we're actually at in terms of the general direction of the trend. So daily is still very bullish. Say very bullish, it just is bullish. Don't really need the trend line to see that. If we're looking at the swing, we're looking at this low, caused the last break of structure. So for me, this is very much a relevant area here that it seems to have reacted to. News on Friday was very bullish for the pound, and there's a lot of liquidity being swept too. So what we've now seen is a reaction to this order block, this demand at the bottom, very much in the discounted of the swing. This is still the week high on the daily, so I'm gonna label it as daily week high rather than just week high. Daily week high, because it hasn't created a new low on the daily again on all the other time frames it has, other than weekly. Looks like we're currently reacting to this 4-hourly order block here. The supply is a relevant one because it's caused a break of structure and a nice fair value gap too. However, it's now against trend, as if you're looking at the actual structure. You've got movement down, movement up, movement down. There's a break of structure. And from here, you've got a small pullback, then a break of structure again. And then from this low, we've now created a new high, taking out this high. So I am going to count that as, again, pretty wicky, but I am going to count it as a change of character, only because there is the bullish candle in there. So there has been a swing back. And if you go on the lower time frames, it'll be more obvious. But for me, there is a change of character here. From that change of character, I'm now looking at this swing. We're currently pulling back, so I am interested in this swing here. I get that this is a high level of supply, and there's going to be orders there which has caused the movement back. But when we drop down to the hourly, we can start to look at where we actually want to take positions from. So straight away, there's 2 places I'm looking at. Gonna look here. So these are both now strong lows. Oh no, strong, and it needs to be ideally white. So you've got a strong low here because it's caused a change of character. Within this swing, this is in the discounted, so it could be respected. Sounds really weird, but it's a very obvious one. Obviously, a big amount of fair value gaps. I wouldn't say it's in the golden zone. I do prefer the look of this movement here, and I could definitely see that being used as liquidity, almost SMC liquidity, because I think a lot of people will be trying to trade that. So I wouldn't be surprised if this does get broken, and then we react to this instead, or maybe even lower, as more of the discounted. So the straight away first thing I'm gonna say is that we could see something like this. Maybe inducement in here on the lower time frames, maybe something like that. And then actually comes down here, and that's where you see the actual movement. that's obviously a kind of quite an aggressive prediction. I'm kind of going very much in detail there of the exact movements of the chart. I doubt that's exactly what it's going to look like. Another option is that we could see a reaction to this level, and we could just straight away see that new high because we are bullish on the 4 hourly and daily, that is. And then we could also see, if we're looking bearish, well, hourly, we've already seen that change of character, so we could see a retest of this order block up here, just this overall. It's already reacted to this one, so it could come back up here, retest, and come down. It's going to have to be pretty powerful to break through all of these levels, but if it does, then you've got to look, obviously, to that way. You've got to look at the bearish options. And we could see ultimately a breakdown here, and if we did see that, that would become a very relevant area, and there would ideally be order blocks in this area that's in that premium that we could look to trade from as a bearish outlook. Okay, so we have had a very slight change of character. It's again going to be more prominent on the lower time frames. It's been a slight change of character there, making this area very interesting. Big fair value gap too, that has caused that change of character. So we could see very early on in the week, could see movement back up to here to then short from. Bit more dangerous because it's against the higher time frame trend. So it's a bit of a sticky one. I would also say you've got this area to look out for. Main reason being the amount of structural liquidity that's up there. Okay, go back onto the 4 hourly. This area here is where I could see this breaking down into, reacting to that 4 hourly swing low that caused that change of character. Yeah, I'm not going to count that as a swing low. Cool. Yeah, so that's actually kind of, I don't need to go into loads more detail. That is actually generally what I'm looking at. I've given you a few options there for what I could look at. Just to go back on the daily, I'm going to go on the swing structures, and basically that didn't cause a change of character until this low. Cool, sorry, just double checking. So to go through the trends is bullish still, 4 hour is bullish, I believe. 1 hour is bearish. I know there was a very big spike on Friday that was bullish, but we have seen the structure to make it the other way. Now it's 15 minutes. I'm not going to do half an hour. It's bearish too, and the other ones don't really matter. So that's what I'm going to look at. They're the main ones that I look at. Obviously, seeing that change of character on the 15 does indicate that we're going to see a retracement into this discounted. So again, I'd be looking at this area to then get a reaction to bring further down. If not, a sweep of liquidity here, and then potentially a reaction off of this. But ideally, what we're looking at is this movement back down into these levels, which we can either see a reaction off here, or being used as liquidity to then react off here, which I do like the look of a bit more. I do prefer the look of this order block just due to the fact of where it is in that fib retracement. Okay, so that's a very quick breakdown kind of what I'm looking at. I'm going to end this video here, the analysis, just because I'm live with my Discord, so I'm going to answer some of their questions now. But yeah, that's it for the analysis today. So that was me outlining my pre-market open point of interest. Now I'm going to go through the actual position that made me 5 figures this week. Okay, so straight into it, as you can see, the points of interest are pretty much the exact same as to when I did the analysis. And this is where a lot of traders mess up, is they'll do their analysis on the weekends, they'll get their point of interest, but they won't be patient enough to actually wait for those point of interest to be mitigated. They'll look for something internal, they'll look for something that they can trade to those point of interest, rather than actually waiting for the market to go to their points of interest. So, as you can see, like I said, we've got these 3 areas that I outlined. 2 of them have been reacted to, this supply being one of them. I didn't actually trade the supply because I wasn't looking to short this week. I was only really looking to take longs. So when price came into this discounted and entered this demand, I was looking for longs. I know in the analysis I said I could see that being manipulated, but I did also say we could see it being respected. And the reason I was more confident that I was going to get respected is due to the fact we had this liquidity pool here, due to the fact that we've put in a low that it created an equal high. And also when you go onto the lower time frames, we've got multiple bounces off this section acting as a support. So ultimately, when that got swept, it was also London session liquidity as well, which is an added confluence. Then Asian session had already been swept too. And my target, I was going to target Asian high, but I really couldn't be bothered to hold it for that long. With these funded accounts, I would always try and get your first payout, not as quickly as possible, but when you get the payout, just take the payout. Take the trade that's put you in profit and close it, and just leave the account and wait for the payout. So you get your refund and you're never out of pocket on these challenges, because ultimately this $300,000 funded account has cost me nothing, literally no money. I'm going to get an 112% refund plus 10,000, 8,000 after profit split, and it's cost me nothing because I got refunded. So the point is that if I don't wait for that first payout, or if I don't close the trade and then wait until I get paid, then you could easily mess up in that section and go back into drawdown, and then you don't have the refund and you're not trading for free. You could lose that $1,300 that you put into the initial challenge. Okay, so that's just a bit of advice when you're actually taking challenges and you get to the funded stage. So the actual position, I took one position which was a bit weird. I took the execution a bit differently, which I wouldn't suggest, especially if you're new. It's just changing up the strategy. It wasn't a change up of the strategy was the exact same. However, I was a little bit eager to take the position with an absolute sniper entry. And I actually did get a position at 8, I think it was 858. So there, which is like very good. Entry, like almost couldn't be better. The reason I was looking at that is because I was expecting, and when I was looking at the market, I was seeing multiple liquidity sweeps. And obviously the whole day had been bearish so far, from the day starting up here to literally just bearish movement. So for me, I was looking for, okay, we're getting a lot of exhaustion in the amount of sellers. You are expecting buyers to come in at some point, and I was very much looking at that point of interest. And as I mentioned in the analysis, I would expect this low to kind of be swept as extra liquidity, which it did. So as you can see, it literally just went past that low. It doesn't look like much, but it is just going past any stop losses that would have been there. So yeah, that's just ultimately the trade. I took it from here, and my target was this little demand here. I closed out at around 8, and it gave me ultimately about a 3R. However, I did scale in once I saw the 5-minute change of character. Again, it wasn't loads. I think it was like an extra 10 lots or something here. And it just meant that I could hold the position a bit nicer, get into that profit. I was actually in drawdown from this change of character entry. But yeah, I closed everything out at 8, and it ultimately meant I made about $10,040 or something like that. So I'll show you that now. But ultimately, yeah, take everything that I've said in this video. I don't think I've said anything that's really gonna hurt your trading in any way. I would just say, yeah, when you have a strategy, try and stick to the exact execution type. I know I varied it slightly here, and that was probably a bit more of my kind of experience of trading so much of GU coming in, that I was really expecting it to just literally tap that low and then react. And if not, I did have my stop loss going into this second order block. It wasn't a humongous lot size, but ultimately with the scaling, it was around a 1% risk. This one hitting, it was slightly over 3R, and then the second one hitting about a 1 point something R, or maybe just below 2R. Yeah, just around 2R. So it was a good day. This is Tuesday. Yeah, it was literally yesterday. I don't really sound with it. But any questions on the position, any questions on what I do, drop me a message in the comments or on my Instagram at RobDono. I go live every week, twice a week actually, with my Discord, and we also have people going live every single day. And that's just ultimately where we do all of that. And that's obviously pre-market, so before anything's happened. So all of this stuff that I sent and the analysis done beforehand, that was all done live with the Discord. So they got those points of interest literally said to them before any of this happened. This supply was outlined, this demand was outlined, and this demand was outlined. And what's happened, we've seen, 3 reactions off this supply, and then we've seen a reaction off of this demand. Granted, these 3 weren't really that relevant. I would just say you got one nice trade out of that movement off the supply unless you're entering with ridiculous lot sizes. So yeah, that's ultimately the position. If you want to join my free Discord, I will sometimes do it on there as well. Probably like maybe once every couple of weeks. But it's always good if I am putting out information like this and we do see reactions to the order blocks identified, or just even understanding the market structure if you're new is going to be helpful. And if you're doing everything in your power to become a good trader, hopefully that will help. Okay, and that is the end of this video. If you've got any questions, as always, follow my Instagram and message me directly, or post a message in the comments and I'll try my best to reply as quickly as possible. WokeFX, where I mentor, has released both of their courses and Discord access as a package, so message me if you want to learn from myself or WokeFX in general. Please make sure to subscribe. I think we're about to hit 1,000 subscribers, which is insane after only 7 videos. So thank you for all the support, and I will try and keep as much content posted as possible. I'll update you on this account after I've had the payout, which will be around September, and I'll post proof of the payout and stuff like that. And then we'll have another month of trading that 300K account, and it will be bi-weekly as well, so I can update you guys a bit quicker. Make sure to subscribe and see you soon.